Have you ever found yourself awake at 3 or 0 a.m., lying in the silent darkness, staring at the ceiling, and wondering why sleep has slipped away from you? For many older adults, this moment is not just a passing disturbance, but a recurring experience that prompts questions about what's happening within their bodies or minds. You might wonder if it's a sign of a deeper issue, a flaw in your health, or simply an unavoidable part of growing older. The truth is, waking up in the early morning hours is far more common among older adults than you might realize, and it's not merely a random occurrence or an inevitable consequence of aging. There's a profound, multifaceted story behind these quiet awakenings, woven from the intricate threads of your body's biology, your daily habits, and the emotional depth of a life rich with experiences. In this exploration, we'll uncover 5 compelling reasons why so many older adults find themselves awake around 3 a.m., and what these moments might be revealing about your health, your body, and your inner world. These aren't superficial answers or quick fixes. They're rooted in the science of aging, the psychology of rest, and the natural rhythms of a life that's seen many chapters. By the end of this journey, you may view those pre-dawn wake-ups through a new lens, not as a problem to be fixed, but as a gentle signal to listen more closely to yourself. These insights could not only help you find more restful sleep, but also deepen your appreciation for the remarkable ways your body and mind continue to adapt and evolve. We'll dive into how shifting hormones, evolving sleep patterns, physical health challenges, daily routines, and even the quiet stirrings of your emotions can contribute to these early morning awakenings. Each reason offers a unique perspective, revealing something meaningful about how your body functions and the life you've built over the years. This isn't just about sleep, it's about honoring the wisdom of your body and the stories it carries through time. So if you've ever found yourself awake at 3 a.m., feeling puzzled, frustrated, or simply curious about why it's happening, you're in the right place. Stay with us until the end, because what you discover here might transform how you approach your rest and your well-being. Let's begin. 1. Declining melatonin production. One of the primary reasons older adults wake up around 3 a.m. is the natural decline in melatonin production that comes with aging. Melatonin, often referred to as the body's sleep hormone, is the cornerstone of your sleep-wake cycle. It acts like an internal timekeeper, signaling when it's time to wind down, drift into sleep, and remain in a restful state through the night. In your younger years, your body likely produced a consistent, robust supply of melatonin, allowing you to fall asleep effortlessly and enjoy long, uninterrupted stretches of deep, rejuvenating rest. You'd slip into slumber after a busy day, a hearty meal, or a cozy evening, waking up refreshed and in sync with the natural rhythms of day and night. As we age, however, melatonin production gradually diminishes. This shift can begin as early as your 40s or 50s and becomes more pronounced in your 60s, 70s, and beyond. By this stage, your body may produce significantly less melatonin than it once did, which can disrupt your ability to stay asleep through the night. You might fall asleep easily after a relaxing evening, a warm meal, or a tiring day, but in the early morning hours around 2 a.m., 3 a.m., or 4 a.m., your melatonin levels may drop too low to maintain deep sleep. Without sufficient melatonin, your brain begins to transition toward wakefulness, leaving you alert when you prefer to be dreaming. This change isn't a sign that you're doing something wrong or that your body is failing you. It's a natural part of how your internal chemistry evolves with age. Your body is still working to regulate sleep, but it's operating with fewer resources than it once had. External factors can exacerbate this effect. Even small amounts of light from a glowing digital clock, a street lamp seeping through the curtains, a hallway light creeping under the door, or a device screen left on can further suppress melatonin production. As we age, our bodies become more sensitive to these environmental triggers, making it harder to stay asleep through the night. A blinking light on a smoke detector, a sliver of moonlight, or even the faint glow of a charging device can be enough to disrupt your body's delicate sleep balance. Consider the story of Agnes, a 71-year-old, who always prided herself on her ability to sleep soundly through the night. For most of her life, she'd fall asleep within minutes and wake up feeling energized, ready to tackle the day. But over the past few years, she began waking up consistently around 3:15 a.m., her mind alert and her body unwilling to return to sleep. At first, she worried she was developing a sleep disorder or that her health was declining. After consulting a sleep specialist, she learned that her melatonin levels were likely lower than they used to be, a normal part of aging. This realization was a turning point for Agnes. Instead of feeling defeated, she made practical changes to support her sleep. She invested in blackout shades to keep her bedroom as dark as possible, stopped using her smartphone an hour before bed to avoid blue light exposure, and began taking short evening walks to reinforce her circadian rhythm. She also worked with her doctor to explore a low-dose melatonin supplement, which helped bridge the gap on particularly restless nights. While she still wakes up occasionally, these adjustments have made her early mornings less frequent and less frustrating, allowing her to feel more in control of her rest. This kind of awareness can be transformative. When you understand that waking up at 3:00 a.m. might be tied to a natural hormonal shift, you can stop seeing it as a personal failure and start taking steps to work with your body. Simple changes like creating a darker sleep environment, avoiding blue light from screens, or establishing a consistent evening routine can make a significant difference. You might consider using a sleep mask to block out light, turning off unnecessary electronics in your bedroom, or adjusting the thermostat to create a cooler, more sleep-friendly environment. Some people find that adding calming rituals like drinking herbal tea or practicing gentle stretching before bed helps signal to their body that it's time to rest. More than that, this understanding fosters compassion for yourself. Your body isn't betraying you. It's navigating a new phase of life, and with a little support, you can help it find balance again. 2. Advanced sleep phase syndrome. Another significant reason older adults wake up in the early morning hours is a phenomenon known as advanced sleep phase syndrome, where the body's internal clock shifts forward with age. Your circadian rhythm, the biological system that governs when you feel sleepy or alert, naturally adjusts as you grow older. In your younger years, your internal clock was likely aligned with a later bedtime, perhaps staying up until 10:00 p.m., 11:00 p.m., or even midnight and waking around 7:00 a.m. or later. This rhythm felt natural, syncing with the demands of work, social life, family responsibilities, or late-night hobbies like reading, watching movies, or catching up on tasks. But as we age, this internal clock tends to move earlier, prompting you to feel sleepy in the early evening and wake up well before dawn. This shift means you might find yourself dozing off during an evening show, feeling ready for bed by 8:30 or 9 p.m., even if you didn't intend to sleep so early. As a result, your body completes its sleep cycle earlier, often by 3 or 4 a.m., leaving you wide awake when the world is still cloaked in darkness. This isn't just a matter of habit or preference. It's a biological change rooted in how your brain regulates sleep. The suprachiasmatic nucleus, the part of the brain that controls circadian rhythms, becomes less responsive to external cues like light and activity as we age, allowing this forward shift to take hold. Lifestyle changes can amplify this effect. For many older adults, especially those who are retired or living in quieter households, the absence of a structured daily schedule weakens the external cues that once anchored their sleep cycle. Without the demands of a commute, work meetings, or late-night social events, your body may naturally wind down earlier. A peaceful evening with minimal stimulation, perhaps reading a novel, knitting, listening to soft music, or watching a quiet television program, can signal to your brain that it's time to produce melatonin earlier, inviting sleep long before the clock strikes 10 p.m. If you live alone or in a calm household, the lack of noise, activity, or social interaction can further reinforce this early sleep schedule. Take the example of Harold, a 68-year-old retiree who noticed his sleep patterns changing after leaving his career. In his working years, he'd stay up until 11:30 p.m., catching up on emails, reading, or watching late-night news. But after retirement, his days became less structured. He started eating dinner at 5:30 p.m., relaxing in his favorite armchair, and often dozing off by 9:00 p.m. By 3:00 a.m., he was wide awake, feeling rested but confused by the early hour. Initially, he thought he was developing insomnia, but after learning about advanced sleep phase syndrome, he realized his body's clock had simply shifted. Harold began making small adjustments to his routine. He added a short evening walk to stay active, read in brighter light to delay melatonin production, and scheduled phone calls with friends or family to keep his evenings more engaging. He also started eating a light snack before bed, like a piece of fruit, a handful of nuts, or a small bowl of yogurt, to stabilize his blood sugar, which sometimes contributed to his early wake-ups. These changes helped push his bedtime later, gradually shifting his wake-up time closer to 5 or 6 a.m. This shift in sleep timing is a normal part of aging, but it can feel disorienting if your lifestyle or preferences don't align with it. The good news is that you can gently guide your body's rhythm with intentional habits. Staying active in the afternoon, perhaps through a walk, light exercise, gardening, or even household chores, can help delay your sleep phase. Exposing yourself to natural light during the day, especially in the morning, can reinforce your circadian rhythm and help regulate your internal clock. Adding stimulating activities in the evening, like reading an engaging book, playing a board game, having a conversation, or even listening to upbeat music, can also signal to your body that it's not quite time to sleep. These small tweaks can make a big difference, helping to reduce those 3 a.m. wake-ups and align your sleep schedule with your desired routine. If this section resonates with you, let us know by commenting number 2 below. And if you're finding this content valuable, please subscribe and turn on notifications to stay updated with our videos. 3. Physical health and discomfort. Physical discomfort or underlying health issues are another common reason why older adults wake up around 3 a.m. As we age, our bodies become more susceptible to chronic conditions, minor ailments, or physical changes that can subtly disrupt sleep. These disruptions often emerge in the quiet of the night when your body is more sensitive to discomfort and less distracted by the busyness of the day. Unlike loud noises, vivid dreams, or external disturbances, these issues can creep in quietly, nudging you awake when you least expect it. Conditions like arthritis, for instance, can make lying in one position for hours uncomfortable. You might fall asleep without issue, lulled by a cozy evening, a warm blanket, or a familiar bedtime routine. But after several hours of stillness, stiff joints or aching muscles can pull you out of deep sleep. Similarly, acid reflux, a common issue for older adults, can flare up at night, especially if you ate a heavy meal too close to bedtime, consumed spicy or acidic foods, or reclined too soon after eating. Even seemingly minor issues like a dry mouth, muscle cramps, restless leg syndrome, or a room that's too warm or too cold can be enough to rouse you from rest. For many older adults, particularly men, the need to urinate is a frequent culprit behind nighttime awakenings. As we age, the bladder loses elasticity, making it less able to hold urine for long periods. This can lead to more frequent and urgent trips to the bathroom, especially in the early morning hours when your body is in a lighter sleep phase. Even a brief interruption like this can shift your body from deep sleep to light alertness, making it harder to fall back asleep. Once you're up and moving, perhaps walking to the bathroom, turning on a light, or even splashing water on your face, your brain may register the activity as a signal to stay awake, even if you're still tired. Medications, which many older adults take for conditions like high blood pressure, heart health, diabetes, or chronic pain, can also play a role in disrupting sleep. Some medications have side effects that interfere with rest, such as increased urination, changes in body temperature, or heightened sensitivity to lighter noise. These effects can be subtle, and you might not immediately connect them to your wake-ups. For example, a diuretic prescribed for blood pressure might increase nighttime bathroom trips, while a pain medication might cause restlessness, vivid dreams, or even slight discomfort that pulls you awake. Consider the story of Evelyn, a 74-year-old who began waking up around 3:30 a.m. over the past year. She initially assumed it was just part of getting older, but the consistent wake-ups left her feeling tired and frustrated during the day. After keeping a sleep journal and consulting her doctor, she discovered that a medication she took for her heart was increasing her nighttime bathroom trips. She also noticed that her arthritis flared up more at night, especially when she slept in certain positions, and that occasional acid reflux was contributing to her discomfort. With her doctor's guidance, Evelyn adjusted the timing of her medication-limited fluids in the evening and invested in a supportive mattress to ease her joint pain. She also started elevating her head during sleep with an extra pillow to reduce acid reflux, which she hadn't realized was a factor. These tweaks didn't eliminate her early mornings entirely, but they made them less frequent and easier to manage, allowing her to return to sleep more quickly. Physical disruptions during sleep are not a sign that your body is failing. They're evidence that it's still communicating its needs. By paying attention to these signals, you can take steps to address discomfort, whether it's adjusting your medication schedule, improving your sleep environment, or seeking medical advice for underlying conditions. You might try small changes, like using a heating pad or ice pack for joint pain, keeping a glass of water by your bed for dry mouth, or adjusting your bedroom temperature for comfort. Some people find that elevating their legs or using a supportive pillow helps with circulation or restless legs. These wake-ups can be a gentle nudge to care for your body, more intentionally helping you find greater comfort and rest. 4. Lifestyle and routine. Changes your daily habits and routines can have a profound impact on why you're waking up at 3 a.m. As we age, our lifestyles often shift in ways that subtly reshape our sleep-wake cycle. Many older adults begin eating dinner earlier, winding down sooner in the evening, or engaging in less physical or mental activity during the day. These changes, while seemingly minor, can signal to your body that it's time to start the sleep process earlier, leading to earlier wake-ups in the pre-dawn hours. For example, after retirement, the absence of a structured schedule like commuting work deadlines, meetings, or social engagements can weaken the external cues that once anchored your sleep cycle. Without these, your body may produce melatonin earlier in the evening, prompting you to feel sleepy by 8:00 or 9:00 p.m. If you fall asleep this early, your body may complete its sleep cycle by 3:00 a.m., leaving you awake when the world is still quiet. This shift can feel disorienting, especially if you're used to a later schedule or prefer to wake closer to sunrise. Diet and lifestyle also play a significant role. Eating dinner early, while often healthier, can sometimes lead to a drop in blood sugar overnight, which may rouse you from sleep. This dip might not feel like hunger, but can still trigger wakefulness, especially if you're sensitive to these changes. Similarly, caffeine consumed in the afternoon, even in small amounts like a cup of tea, a soda, a piece of chocolate, or even certain medications can linger in your system longer as your metabolism slows with age, subtly lightening your sleep and making you more prone to waking at the slightest disturbance. Take the example of Robert, a 72-year-old who retired 3 years ago. After leaving his job, his days became quieter, with dinner at 5 p.m. and evenings spent relaxing in his recliner, often watching television, reading, or simply resting. He frequently fell asleep by 9:00 p.m., only to wake up at 3:00 a.m., alert and puzzled by the early hour. Initially, he thought it was just a natural part of aging, but after reflecting on his routine, he realized his early dinners and lack of evening activity were contributing to his shifted sleep cycle. Robert began making small adjustments. He added a short afternoon walk to stay active, read in brighter light in the evening to delay melatonin production, and avoided naps after dinner. He also started having a light snack before bed, like a handful of nuts, a slice of toast, or a small bowl of cereal to stabilize his blood sugar overnight. These changes helped push his bedtime later, gradually shifting his wake-up time closer to 5:30 or 6 a.m. Your body thrives on rhythm, and small adjustments to your daily habits like staying active in the afternoon, delaying bedtime slightly, or timing meals differently can help realign your sleep schedule for more restful nights. These changes don't have to be drastic. Even small tweaks like engaging in a hobby, having a conversation, listening to upbeat music, or working on a puzzle in the evening can signal to your body that it's not quite time to sleep. Some people find that keeping a consistent bedtime routine like reading for 30 minutes or practicing gentle stretching helps reinforce a later sleep schedule. By noticing these patterns and making thoughtful adjustments, you can guide your body back to a sleep cycle that feels more restorative and less fragmented. If this section resonated with you, comment number 4 below to share your thoughts. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications for more content like this. 5. Emotional and psychological factors. Sometimes waking up at 3:00 a.m. has less to do with your body and more to do with your mind. As we age, the busyness of life often slows, leaving more space for emotions and thoughts to surface, especially in the quiet of the night. These early hours, when distractions are minimal and the world is still, can become a stage for your mind to process unresolved worries, memories, or longings that you may not notice during the day. This kind of restlessness is different from the intense anxiety of youth. It's often subtler, more reflective, a gentle hum of thoughts about past relationships, life choices, regrets, or losses. It might feel like a quiet ache for connection, a memory of a loved one, a moment of gratitude, or a question about the path your life has taken. For many older adults, shrinking social circles, whether due to retirement, children moving away, friends relocating, or loved ones passing, can amplify feelings of loneliness, which may surface at night. This loneliness doesn't always feel heavy. Sometimes it's a faint longing for someone to talk to, a desire to share a moment, a story, or a laugh, or a sense that something remains unresolved. Consider the story of Margaret, an 81-year-old widow who stays busy during the day with gardening, reading, knitting, and phone calls with her grandchildren. But at 3:10 a.m., she often wakes with thoughts of her late husband, moments they shared, or worries she keeps tucked away during daylight hours. Initially, she thought her sleep was the problem, but she came to realize that her heart was seeking a way to be heard. Margaret started keeping a small journal by her bed, where she jots down her thoughts during these wake-ups. Nothing elaborate, just a few honest reflections about her day, her memories, her joys, or her feelings. She also added a quiet evening ritual, like listening to soothing music, sipping herbal tea, writing a short note to a friend or family member, or practicing a few minutes of mindfulness meditation. These small acts gave her emotions an outlet, easing her mind and helping her return to sleep more peacefully. These wake-ups are not flaws, they're signs of a rich inner life shaped by years of joy, heartbreak, growth, resilience, and wisdom. Your mind doesn't follow a strict schedule. It processes what it needs to when the world is quiet, and that often happens in the stillness of the early morning. By approaching these moments with curiosity and kindness, you can explore what your mind is trying to say, whether it's a need for connection, reflection, closure, or simply acknowledgement of your journey. Journaling, talking to a loved one, creating a calming evening routine, or even practicing gentle mindfulness exercises can help give your emotions a voice, fostering not only better sleep, but a deeper understanding of yourself in this stage of life. Final thoughts. As we close, take a moment to reflect on what resonated with you today. Was it the decline in melatonin, the shift in your internal clock, physical discomfort, changes in your daily routine, or the quiet stirrings of your emotions? Each of these 5 reasons offers a window into why you're waking up at 3 a.m., and none suggest that something is wrong with you. Instead, they reveal how your body and mind continue to work, adapt, and communicate as you navigate this phase of life. These early wake-ups are not just interruptions, they're messages inviting you to listen to your needs, adjust your habits, and approach yourself with compassion. You're not alone in this experience, and with understanding comes the power to make small, meaningful changes that foster better rest and a deeper connection to your evolving self. You're not just aging, you're evolving, and with that evolution comes the opportunity to rest more intentionally, care for yourself more gently, and greet each morning with greater peace, clarity, and understanding. Thank you for joining us. Please share your thoughts in the comments. What did you learn today, and how will you apply it to your life? Your feedback inspires us to keep creating content like this. If you found this helpful, like, subscribe, and share to support more videos that inform, inspire, and empower. We look forward to seeing you in the next one.